everyone, and welcome to the Loki Book Tag. And yes, I'm going to be wearing these the entire way through because I've just got them, I love them, and I just wanted to wear them, and there's no perfect time to wear them than now. So now, let's get into the questions. Question number 1 is a book with a mischievous character. I'm going to give you 2 with the Fowl twins because Miles and Beckett are the most mischievous characters I have ever seen in my life. They are so, mischievous in completely different ways. They're playing pranks on people, they're causing a hell of a lot of mischief. Even when they get grounded, they manage to get out again and cause even more havoc. I absolutely love them, and they are just basically kings, or at least princes of chaos, and I love them. Question number 2 is show a book you have more than one version of. The Archived. I've got the Archived, which is this version, and then I've also got the Dark Vault, which is the Archived, and then the sequel, the Unbound, in a bind-up, essentially. So that's the 2 I've got. Question number 3 is variant 2, which is to show a book series where you have multiple book editions in that series. Skullduggery. So this is my original version, which is my orange sprayed edges signed version. It did not come signed. I got it signed 2 years ago at Yauk, and it's now one of my prized possessions. But this was the first one I ever got in the series. Obviously it's book 1, but this is the one that's been with me throughout my entire life, essentially, since it came out, and I adore it and I will never ever get rid of it. And then this is the new version that came in my box set of all the other matching covers with the spine art, which then creates one great big picture. So I'm also not getting rid of this one anytime soon either. I would never get rid of Skullduggery books anyway, but these are my various editions. Question number 4 is Prune, which is a book that you recently got rid of or are planning on getting rid of. Cinderella is Dead. I got this a couple of years ago now, and I waited until I saw Cinderella to read it. I read it. It was reasonably enjoyable, but also quite disappointing in places, and I'm just not going to reread it again, so I'm going to be unhauling it and giving it to a charity shop so someone else can enjoy it more than I did. Question number 5, Enchantment, a book that had you under a spell, basically a book you couldn't put down. Legendborn. I cannot put this book down. I know I talk about it a lot, but that's because I love it so much. But this was an incredible read. The world building, the magic, the plotline, the characters, the plot twists, everything else was absolutely incredible, and I could not put this book down. Admittedly, it did take about 50 pages for me to properly get into it, but once I was in, I was hooked and I just could not stop reading. Question number 6 is Timekeepers, which is a series that has stood the test of time. Not a series, unless you count the TV series, but good omens, because this book was published 31 years ago now, and it still works perfectly to this day. Literally, this was published 31 years ago, back in May. It was then adapted into a TV show 2 years ago, and they didn't have to change a single thing apart from what they had to change for budget reasons. But literally, everything that happened the exact same way it did in the book, and it didn't have to change whatsoever. And I do think this book is still relevant in this time period, and I reckon it'll be relevant for years to come because, quite frankly, it is timeless. It is absolutely timeless, and I adore it. Question number 7 is Asgard, a book with royalty or with godlike figures. Arushar. Now this one is covering the god of destruction. Specifically, this is Arushar and the end of time. So you've got the god of destruction there, who is also Aru's father. You've then got the other characters of the pantheon as well, who are also gods, who Arushar and her friends end up talking to a lot. They are also the reincarnations of the Pandavar brothers, who are sort of treated like royalty as well throughout the Mahabharata. So it covers all bases there. Also, the cover is really, really nice. This series is really, really interesting. I learned a lot reading it, and I just genuinely think it is absolutely brilliant. Question number 8 is Daggers, a book that cut you deep and made you emotional. Slay. This had so many moments that had me really, really emotional reading it for various reasons. I thought it was absolutely brilliant, and it just really hit home in so many places. I cannot recommend it enough. And finally, question number 9 is Illusion, a book you bought because you thought the cover was pretty, but it ended up being bad. Court of Miracles. I mean, look at the cover, look at the sprayed edges, and then look at the under the dust jacket art and tell me it's not stunning. But my problem was with the story inside of it, because it had some very good ideas. It was a Les Mis retelling and everything else, but for me personally, it needed about 15-20 more pages of explanation in it. and a couple of other things as well, which is just personal preference for me personally, but I do think it needed at least another couple of chapters in here with explanation, because it just sort of jumped ahead far too quickly and it just made no sense in places. So that's why I'm putting it for this answer, because it's pretty, but it did need some work on it at the same time. And that is the end of the Loki book tag. So if you want to do this tag, consider yourself tagged. But with that, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up. Comment down below, tell me some of your answers, I'd love to know. Or if you don't have that much time, leave me a dagger emoji to let me know that you were here. And I'll also leave a link down below to all of my social media if you want to check it out, including to the Comic Book Sanctum, which is my website dedicated to Marvel Comics. And if you want to see any more of my videos, please click subscribe here. And over here will be the link to my previous video. But until next time, everyone, bye!